Hey there, Scary Gary. Glad you guys came back for another week. Well, it's still kind of cold in Texas, but cold in Texas means it's just in the low 50s. So, get hat, coat, and sun shining though. It's a good deal. So, makes me want to camp more, but I'd like to see a little heat first, which leads me to my topic today, winterizing your RV. But it's a little bit different when you live in the southern states. I bought a bottle of antifreeze the very first year that we had a camper, and it's still sitting on my shelf. Because, and that's even with our hard freeze that we had last year that really devastated a lot of people in the Texas area. But what I have done, which is kind of a cheap man's way to winterize every year, is I basically empty my tanks, empty my hot water heater, take the plugs out of the low drain system that is out there and let everything drain. I'll turn my pump on for just a few minutes to get it to pump through the system, and leave it, open up every faucet in the place and evacuate as much water as I can. And so far, I have not had a problem. The very first year I did it, I was concerned that we had a little snap that got down to, it got down to about 28 for one day. And I actually ran my heater in the trailer, was really very concerned. And I was hearing other people that had any damage and they didn't do anything. So I kind of basically just said, okay, let's just don't waste the propane. Let's just try it with just emptying the lines the best we can and just see where it goes. And I was hoping we wouldn't have any problem last year, because last year was a significant freeze, but I didn't have any problem then. So far, as long as we're not talking in the too far minus 32 degrees, this method works pretty well. And there is one advantage of this method, and that is you get a time to inspect your hot water heater and inspect the anode rod that goes in it. Most of you may not know this, or some may not know this, would be a better way to put this, but your hot water heater, the drain plug for it actually has this long piece of metal that is called an anode, and it's basically, it decays so that it doesn't decay your steel tank of your hot water heater. And I think they recommend changing them out about every 2 years, but when you take it out, you get to look at it and see how much of it is eroded. Because when you first put it in there, when they first put it in there, it is a nice solid rod. And then the next year, if you're going to drain it out and take it, you basically look at it. It looks like it's decayed, but hey, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to break down so your tank doesn't break down. The other thing though is when you're doing this, which I can say I've made this mistake, when you are loosening the nut, the very, very first thing you want to do is reach up on your relief valve and pop it open and allow the pressure to get off. Because if not, when you unscrew that cap, it's going to blow back on you. And most of the time, that anode, it's leaving kind of a white residue in there. So all of a sudden you look like somebody's put a lot of white stuff on you. The other thing that I usually do at this time, or right before I start back up, is I will wash the inside of the tank out, and Camco makes a little wand that just put on a hose and it has a little spetcock on it, and just basically put it in there and wash all the residue and everything out of your tank, which is just good maintenance. Or you can get these rods at Amazon. There's different grades of them. They're not that expensive. And changing out a hot water heater is a lot expensive. So maybe you live in a moderate climate, much like we do, and you may get just a few chances of freezing weather. Then maybe you can just only somewhat do your winterizing and not have to go through all of the antifreeze. And if you do need some antifreeze, give me a call. I got some on my shelf sitting there. I hope I never have to use it. Well, I hope this has been informative, and I sure hope to see you on the next go around.
If you like the video, give it a thumbs up.
Turn on your post notifications.
Put the comments down below.
Subscribe and you make us happy, right, Maggie? Oh.
Oh my gosh.